TBR2. No, that is not a droid from the Star Wars Extended Universe. Actually, for all I know, it might be. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Star Wars Expanded Universe that may well be in there. But in the context of this video, TBR2 stands for To Be Read Part 2. That's right, I have finished every book on my original 2021 TBR list, and I even read a few others just to spice it up. And then I looked at my calendar and thought, hang on a minute, there's still half a year left. I gotta read some more books. And since I haven't made a lot of videos since May, or any to be more exact, I figured I'd make this video because I want to get the ball rolling and get more videos out there. I've got ideas for videos, I just need to maintain the motivation to have the ideas, record the ideas, and edit the ideas, and also upload the ideas. But anyway, enough about my work ethic. This is my TBR list Part 2 for 2021. I'll just start by going through the books that I've read that weren't on my original list that I have now read at the time of recording. I've read The Lies of Locke Lamora and the other two books in the Gentleman Bastard sequence and absolutely adored them. That has skyrocketed its way to one of my favourite fantasy series of all time. Absolutely huge fan of the Gentleman Bastard series. I don't know if you can quite see, but I've got it on my shelves behind me there. Absolutely looking forward to the fourth book in the series. I also read the first book in Mistborn. I read The Final Empire. Again, really enjoyed that. I read a bit of The Way of Kings beforehand. That's the only other Sanderson I'd ever read, and I wasn't completely grabbed by it, although I'm willing to give it another chance. So I was a little apprehensive going into Mistborn, but my apprehension was unwarranted. I absolutely blasted through that one, loved Kelsier and Vin and their whole deal. I'll certainly be continuing that one. I read the first 3 manga volumes of Full Metal Alchemist. That's always a good time. I also read Witcher, Sword of Destiny during that interim. I forgot to mention it when I was making the video, but yeah, that was another one that I read. And just this morning, actually, I finished reading Good Omens. Loved the show when it came out, so it stands to reason that I did enjoy the book as well. So those are the books that have been read. Now let's move on to the books that are still to be read. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. This has been highly recommended to me by one of my close friends, and I do think I will very much enjoy it. This is going to be the very next one that I read. By the time I've edited and uploaded this video, I'll probably have already finished it. But yeah, I'm pretty set on reading this one next. I don't have a specific order in mind for the others. I just have them stacked like that because. So we've got another Neil Gaiman entry here. We've got American Gods. I've seen the first couple of episodes of the TV show, and yeah, I like its vibe. I like Neil Gaiman's writing style well enough, so I'll happily give the book a chance. I'm sure I'll be seeing those American Gods sometime soon. Malice by John Gwynne. That's next up. All I really know about this one is it's a very popular fantasy book, and I feel like I'll like it. I really like the cover. Like, the more I look at this cover, the more things I find to like about it. It's simplistic, but it's very striking, and it's very intriguing, and it's, oh, the title's embossed. I love that. One thing I'll never grow tired of is an embossed cover, if it's the letters or the image, or the sword's a little bit embossed too. Something to know about me is I love books that have covers like that. I just love the tactile sensation, and I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy the content of the book as well. Is that a saber-toothed wolf on the hilt of the sword? That is cool. The Great Hunt, the second book in Wheel of Time. As you know, I read Eye of the World in January. I had originally thought that I might not continue Wheel of Time until next year, but since I seem to be increasing my reading speed at a dramatic rate, I might have time to get to this one before the year is out. I'm certainly interested to know where the series is going to go from where it left off at the end of Eye of the World. So Great Hunt makes it onto the second part of the TBR list, and that does sort of include Dragon Reborn with it as well. Do you want to come in, Slinky? This is Slinky. She can't read. Slink, look, it's a YouTube audience. She doesn't care. Now let's move on to these two. I got these two on a good deal at a second-hand bookshop. I have really no idea what either one of them is about, other than what it says on the blurb. I've got The Serpent Papers by Jessica Cornwell, which seems like it's a sort of crime thriller with maybe some supernatural elements. And then we've got The Lost Future of Pepper Harrow by Natasha Pulley. Also have absolutely no idea what this one is about, but it does appear, based off the cover, to have a sort of... It seems like it's going to have a sort of eldritch vibe, and I am down with an eldritch vibe. Next up, also from that secondhand bookstore, we have The Red Knight. This is another one I don't really know what the plot is. I just have the blurb here, and there's a knight fighting a dragon on the front, or a wyvern, rather. It seems cool, it definitely intrigued me. No idea what I'm going to think of all three of these, but they were all very reasonably priced, and I'm willing to take a chance on a book if it seems interesting. I don't need to know much about it. I'm happy to just dive in and then see what's what. Also on my 2021 TBR, The Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie. Highly anticipating that one. I will be the first in line to get it and just absolutely consume it. If it comes out this year, then The Thorn of Emberlin by Scott Lynch. That is also a highly anticipated release for me following me finishing Republic of Thieves. And as well as those two, I also want to add the second two books in the first Mistborn trilogy. As I said, I read The Final Empire and really enjoyed it and really want to know what happens next in that series. So, Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages, I think that's the right order. Welcome to the TBR list. There you are, you're on it now. Well, hey, why am I applauding books for being on a list that I put them on? Don't overthink these things. Just go with it. One more thing, between filming this video and editing it, I also found the copies of the Hitchhiker's Guide books that I've been missing, and so I'll add the 4th and 5th Hitchhiker's Guide to my TBR for 2021. They're also on the list. So there, that's my Part 2 TBR for 2021. Hopefully I'll be able to read all of these books before the year is out. We'll see whether or not I will. Of all of those that I've mentioned, I think I'm most looking forward to these two. This one's come very highly recommended to me, and this one I just get the feeling that I am going to really enjoy it. And of course, Wisdom of Crowds, which I'm looking forward to most of all, the final book in the Age of Madness trilogy. I am very, very invested in seeing where those characters go. I really don't want anything bad to happen to Orso, but the prophecy involved in that series does seem to indicate that something bad's gonna happen to him. He might not die, but death isn't always the worst thing that can happen in First Law to you. So yeah, avidly looking forward to that one. Well, that's it. That's the second half of my 2021 TBR. Will I read them all before the year's out? Stay tuned and find out. Also stay tuned for some reviews that I want to make of books I've already read this year. A Mistborn review, Gentleman Bastards review, Farseer Trilogy review. Got things to say about books and I'm gonna say them. You can't stop me. So stay tuned for those and subscribe if you want to see them as soon as they come out. If you enjoyed this video, why not give it a big thumbs up? If you have your own TBR list that you want to share in the comments or have any thoughts about the books that I've mentioned in this video, please also do share them in the comments. I'll happily discuss books with you down there. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and as always, I will see you in my next one. But yeah, Good Omens, more like good book. Yeah, take that one.